You know, I always push myself the same way. I take my body to the limit to do what needs to be done. It doesn't matter if it's an action scene, a fight, or any physical challenge. I push myself as hard as possible to deliver it in the most realistic way, always safely. It's like I'm constantly testing how far I can go and then trying to go a little further, because in the end, if you don't truly commit, if you don't bring intensity and feel the adrenaline, it just doesn't look real. And that applies to anything. You need to put your body into action. You need to move. You need to challenge yourself. Otherwise, everything looks fake, even when it's technically acting. Now think about this. At 56 years old, Jason Statham still looks like someone capable of taking on an entire group with his bare hands. He maintains an impressive physique, agile, defined, and extremely functional, something many younger people can't sustain. And then comes the question everyone asks: how does he do it? While most action actors start to slow down over the years, he seems to do exactly the opposite. He gets stronger, faster, leaner, and more resilient, as if time were working in his favor. The answer isn't in luck or just genetics. The secret lies in three very clear pillars: intense training, consistent discipline, and a diet designed like that of a high-level athlete. What's most interesting is that this doesn't only happen when he's filming a movie. He has explained that he trains as if he were filming, even when he's not working. In other words, his body never goes into full relaxation mode. He maintains a high standard all the time. When asked if he had cheat days to eat whatever he wanted, his answer was interesting. He said he doesn't follow the traditional idea of a cheat day. Instead, he prefers to stay consistent, and when he steps out of routine, he does so more flexibly over longer periods, without turning it into a weekly habit. This shows a different mindset. He doesn't rely on small rewards to stay focused. He understands that real results come from daily repetition. And that's exactly what separates those who maintain a strong physique over the years from those who simply accept aging as an excuse. The body responds to the pattern you repeat every day. If you train with intensity, eat with awareness, and maintain discipline, the results will show. Now think carefully. Is it really age that determines how you'll be in a few years? Or are the choices you make every day building that future right now? If I'm on vacation, then every day is a vacation. I like to live in cycles, moments when I eat more, enjoy more, and others when I control things more. I go up and down. That's how it works for me. Variety is what keeps everything interesting. I'm not the type of person who can live rigidly all the time and set aside just one day to break from the routine. I can do that depending on the phase of life, the time of year, or even my mood. But in general, I prefer to adapt to my own rhythm. I follow my nature. There are times when I'm more disciplined and others when I relax a bit more. And there's an important factor that many people ignore. When you're injured and can't train, your food choices naturally get worse. You look for more comfort. And that's normal. Everyone likes that. The problem isn't seeking comfort. The problem is overdoing it. Having that balance is what really makes a difference in the long term. And that's exactly what we're going to understand now. Today we're going to break down Jason Statham's fitness formula, the unconventional training methods he uses, and the 8 rules that keep his body defined year-round. In addition, we'll reveal the diet that supports this physical level, showing exactly what he consumes to stay at his peak. If you've ever wondered how someone manages to train and eat like a true action star, here is the reality, without exaggeration and without shortcuts. Jason Statham's 8 fitness rules begin with something many people get wrong right from the start. The first rule is simple but powerful: workouts are never the same. He believes excessive routine destroys progress. When you always repeat the same exercises, with the same loads and the same format, the body adapts too quickly and stops evolving. That's why he is always changing things. He tests new exercises, alters the number of repetitions, and changes the structure of the workout. The goal is to keep the body constantly alert, forcing continuous adaptation. His philosophy is based on variety. Instead of following that traditional bodybuilding model divided by muscle groups, he prefers functional movements that simulate real-life situations. This not only builds strength, but also improves coordination, balance, and body control. The second rule is to focus on something most people ignore: strength, agility, and mobility. While many people go to the gym just to build muscle, he trains for performance. He wants to be strong, fast, flexible, and resilient at the same time. That's what allows him to perform real action scenes without relying entirely on stunt doubles. His ability to go from a heavy lift straight into a run, or to throw a high kick and immediately move into a fighting stance, shows how completely prepared his body is. It's not just aesthetics, it's real functionality. The third rule is another break from the norm: short but extremely intense workouts. He doesn't believe in spending hours in the gym. Instead, his workouts last between 30 and 40 minutes, but with an intensity that few people can maintain. He uses methods like HIIT, circuits, and supersets to get the maximum results in the shortest time possible. This means every minute counts. There's no distraction, no excessive rest. It's total focus, maximum intensity, and precise execution. And here's an important point many people need to understand. It's not the time you spend training that defines your results. It's the intensity and consistency with which you train. Now think about it. Are you training just to spend time in the gym or to truly transform your body? He also keeps rest periods extremely short. This is not by accident. By reducing the time between exercises, he keeps his heart rate elevated the entire time, which causes the body to keep burning fat while still building muscle. In other words, each workout becomes a double stimulus, strength and conditioning at the same time. Now, before moving on to Jason Statham's fourth training rule, it's worth highlighting something important that he always emphasizes with a direct and simple phrase. If you don't shock the muscle, you don't grow. This is the foundation of the fourth rule. He follows the principle of muscle confusion, which means he is constantly introducing new movements into his training. The goal is to avoid stagnation. When the body gets used to a pattern, it stops evolving. But when you change stimuli frequently, you force the body to adapt again, and that's where growth happens. And this doesn't only affect the body, it also keeps the mind active. One of the biggest problems for people who train is boredom. Excessive repetition makes training become automatic and lacking intensity. In his case, every session requires attention, effort, and full presence. The fifth rule is directly linked to the type of training he chooses, so-called functional training. He doesn't train just for appearance. He trains for real performance, to be fast, agile, and adaptable in any situation. He has even mentioned that he has always enjoyed challenging himself and seeking that feeling of adrenaline. Since the time he practiced high diving, he was already looking for this kind of stimulus. And that continues to this day. Whenever he tries something new, something he's not yet sure he can do, there's a huge reward in simply being able to execute it. This kind of mindset completely changes how you approach training. His workouts include real and demanding movements, such as combat exercises, kettlebell swings, bodyweight movements, and even Olympic lifts. All of this improves balance, speed, and coordination. This type of preparation ensures that he remains fast and efficient, something essential for performing intense fight scenes naturally. The sixth rule shows another clear difference compared to traditional training. Instead of focusing only on visible muscles, the ones you see in the mirror, he prioritizes the core, reflexes, and endurance. He uses explosive exercises like medicine ball throws, box jumps, and agility ladder drills. These movements develop power and speed, key characteristics for a truly functional body. And the core is treated as a priority in almost every workout. He understands that a strong core is the foundation of everything. Without it, you lose stability, strength, and control. Instead of doing only basic crunches, he challenges the body with hanging leg raises, wheel rollouts, and rotational movements. This creates a truly strong abdomen, not just visually defined, but functional and resilient. The seventh rule follows a simple but extremely effective concept, the 80-20 rule. About 80% of his training is focused on movements that improve overall body conditioning, such as strength, mobility, endurance, and performance. Only 20% is aimed at aesthetics. This explains why his physique is not just good-looking, but also efficient. He can run, jump, fight, and react with speed, something that goes far beyond appearance. And here's a point that few people notice. Most people train to look strong, but few train to actually be strong. And that difference completely changes the results you build over the years. Although physical appearance is a natural consequence of such intense training, Jason Statham never trains just for vanity. This is one of the most important aspects of his philosophy. The main focus has always been performance, real strength, true endurance, and functional agility. The look comes as a result, not as the main goal. And this becomes even clearer when he talks about his own journey. He has said himself that he doesn't consider himself exactly a traditional actor. Before entering the film industry, he worked selling jewelry on the streets, did some modeling jobs, and had a very strong background as an athlete. He wasn't someone who spent years studying acting, training accents, or trying to completely transform himself for each role. He simply took advantage of the opportunity when it appeared. It was literally being in the right place at the right time. But there's something interesting about that. Instead of trying to be something he wasn't, he decided to focus on what he truly felt confident in. He followed his own flow. He worked on his strengths, and that ended up shaping not only his career, but also the physical style he built over the years. This mindset is directly reflected in how he trains. The other 20% of his training includes more isolated exercises, such as bicep curls, tricep dips, and lateral raises. These movements help maintain a balanced and well-developed physique, but they are not the foundation of his training. They are just a strategic complement. The 8th rule reinforces this idea even more. He trains like an athlete, not like a bodybuilder. This means he's not concerned with lifting the heaviest weight possible just for the sake of it. The focus is on performance, efficiency, and the real-world application of strength. Every exercise has a clear purpose. Every movement needs to have usefulness outside the gym. Whether it's pushing weighted sleds, using battle ropes, or flipping heavy tires, everything in his training has a direct transfer to functional strength in the real world. And that completely changes the results. Because it's not just about looking strong. It's about being strong, fast, and prepared for any situation. But there is a point that many people ignore, and it is just as important as training: nutrition. Diet is what supports all of this. To maintain this level of performance and a low body fat percentage, he follows a very well-structured strategy. He eats about 6 times a day, with intervals of 2 to 3 hours between meals. This keeps his metabolism active and ensures that his body is always fueled. Each meal has a purpose. The first meal of the day, breakfast, usually includes an omelet with 4 eggs, oats, and seasonal fruits. Here, he combines high-quality protein with slow-releasing carbohydrates and essential micronutrients. The second meal, mid-morning, is usually a protein smoothie with nuts and whey protein. This helps with muscle recovery and keeps energy levels stable. For lunch, he chooses something more complete and solid, typically chicken breast, brown rice, and steamed vegetables. A classic combination, but extremely efficient for providing energy and nutrients. In the afternoon, he has a snack with a mix of almonds, walnuts, and other nuts, accompanied by a banana. Here you get healthy fats, fiber, and quick energy. At dinner, he keeps the focus on quality protein, such as fish, lean meat, or chicken, always paired with a salad and olive oil. This helps with muscle recovery and inflammation control. And before going to bed, he still includes one last light meal, usually with cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. The idea here is to provide slow-digesting protein, helping with recovery during sleep. Now look at this carefully. Nothing here is random. Everything has a function. Everything has a strategy. And it is exactly this consistency, combined with the intensity of his workouts, that allows him to maintain a high-level physique for so many years. The question now is simple. Are you treating your diet as fuel, or just as momentary pleasure? Jason Statham avoids processed sugar and alcohol as much as possible. The foundation of his diet is natural foods, real food, because it keeps his energy levels stable throughout the day. No sharp spikes or crashes. Another essential point is hydration. He drinks more than 3 liters of water per day, something many people underestimate, but which makes a total difference in performance, muscle recovery, and even physical appearance. This discipline in his diet ensures that he maintains a lean, defined, and functional body, while also providing all the nutrients needed to support extremely demanding training. But there's an important detail here. Diet is only half the game. What truly sets him apart from most people is how he trains. His weekly training routine follows a simple principle: never repeat exactly the same workout. He mixes weight training, martial arts, sprints, swimming, and bodyweight exercises. This constant variety prevents the body from adapting and keeps progress ongoing. He has even mentioned that he has experience with different martial arts, such as jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and even a bit of judo. But the goal was never to become a master or earn a specific belt. He trains these disciplines as tools to improve overall performance, not as an end in themselves. Now, when you look at his training week, everything starts to make sense. On Monday, he uses what is called pyramid training. This type of training progressively increases difficulty, causing the muscle to be activated in different ways throughout the sets. He starts with a 10-minute warm-up on the rowing machine at a moderate pace, preparing the body. After that, exercises like push-ups, pull-ups, bodyweight squats, stiff leg deadlifts, and hanging knee raises come in, all organized into 7 sets with a gradual increase in repetitions. To finish, he returns to the rower for another 10 light minutes, helping with recovery. On Tuesday, the focus changes completely. This is where strength training comes in, with an emphasis on power and overall development. Exercises such as bench press, military press, dumbbell flies, triceps extensions, and dips are performed in consistent sets. In addition, he includes movements like the kettlebell farmer hold, which requires grip strength, stability, and endurance at the same time. Once again, the workout ends with light rowing to bring the body down. On Wednesday, the focus is completely different. This day is dedicated to high-intensity cardiovascular conditioning and boxing. The goal here is to burn fat, improve endurance, and increase breathing capacity. He starts with 2,000 meters on the rowing machine, maintaining a controlled pace between 15 and 20 strokes per minute. And here's something many people need to understand. Each day has a specific purpose. There's no random training. Everything is planned to develop a different type of ability, whether it's strength, endurance, speed, or mobility. And it's precisely this smart combination that builds a complete body, capable of performing in any situation. Now think about it. Are you training with a clear plan, or just repeating the same workout week after week without progress on Wednesday? In addition to rowing, boxing intervals are included, which are essential for conditioning. He combines shadow boxing, heavy bag work, and speed bag training, creating a complete stimulus that improves speed, coordination, and endurance. And to finish the day, he also includes long-distance kettlebell carries, 3 sets of approximately 500 meters, something that requires not only strength, but also mental control and muscular endurance. On Thursday, the focus shifts again, now fully directed toward the lower body and endurance. He starts with a warm-up on the rowing machine of about 2,000 meters, preparing the legs, core, and cardiovascular system. Then he moves into weighted front squats, 5 sets of 5 repetitions, an extremely effective exercise for developing real leg strength and trunk stability. After that, he performs stiff leg deadlifts, working with loads that can reach up to 130% or even 180% of his body weight, which shows the level of strength he has developed over the years. For the core, he uses reverse crunches in 5 sets of 20 repetitions, further strengthening the body's foundation. Then comes a challenge that few people can complete with quality: a push-up ladder totaling 200 repetitions, distributed in sets of 15, 20, 25, 20, and 15. But here's an interesting detail. He has mentioned that he doesn't focus on doing the maximum number of push-up repetitions possible. Instead, he prefers to add weight and work with fewer reps, prioritizing strength and control. On Friday, the workout turns into a full-body circuit. This is one of the most intense days of the week because it combines strength and endurance in a single session. He includes exercises such as rope climbs, bear crawls, and crab crawls, all performed in multiple sets. These movements may seem simple at first glance, but they demand a lot from the entire body, especially the core, shoulders, and overall endurance. In addition, he uses medicine ball throws to develop explosive power. And at the end, he performs a cool down with light running or stretching, helping the body begin the recovery process. And then the weekend arrives, where many people think he simply stops. But that's not how it works. He doesn't do heavy workouts on these days, but he also doesn't stay inactive. He keeps his body moving with lighter activities such as light jogging, swimming, or even hiking. This helps with active recovery, improves circulation, and keeps the body in motion without causing excessive strain. And here is one of the biggest lessons from all of this. It's not about training hard every single day. It's about maintaining consistency, intelligence, and balance. Now think about it. How many times have you completely stopped on the weekends and lost all the momentum you built during the entire week?